In this video, I'm going to talk about alternatives to cold calling. Do you hate cold calling? Or maybe you do it because you know you have to, and you're looking for other ways to generate new business without that painful cold calling? Well, I've got some ideas for you. Hi, I'm Maile Collmer, Master Referral Coach, and I started out in business cold calling, and maybe you did too. Is it the best thing we ever did in our life? Maybe not, but it is a viable way to generate business. And guess what? There are alternatives that are far more enjoyable and far more efficient in this day and age. I'm going to share some tried and true methods, and I'm going to give you my top 2 preferred ways that I have found extreme success for me and my business that I actually enjoy doing. When I got started in business and in sales, I was straight out of college and I had to start from scratch. And I was in real estate. And my first broker gave me what we call a crisscross directory. What is a crisscross directory? It's a phone book listed by street address. So you can call everyone on Pine Street and say, hey, you want to sell your house? Hey, you want to sell your house? In that cold prospecting, cold calling method. So I learned cold calling as one of the first ways to generate sales for my business. And the second way, which is just another version of cold calling, was door knocking. Have you ever done any door knocking? So door knocking can be an effective way to meet people in the neighborhood. It could be a personal neighborhood, a housing neighborhood. It could also be a business neighborhood. But door knocking is a way to go door by door and basically cold call face to face and get your steps in at the same time. These 2 methods are tried and true, and people still do them to this day. I personally found them to be a little daunting and a little tiring and hard for me to maintain my enthusiasm for the long haul. So there are other ways to generate business. Now, some of the tried and true ways to generate business without cold calling are marketing, advertising, and PR. When I was starting in business, again, I was straight out of college. I had student loans. I did not have a big budget to really pay a lot of money to do those activities, because it does take a lot of money to maintain and build from scratch if you're going to do marketing, advertising, and PR in the traditional way. Now, with any type of marketing for your business, it really is only effective if you do it consistently. So say you're going to advertise in the newspaper, okay? They charge a pretty penny to advertise in the newspaper. So you would have to do it over and over and over and over again. Same with direct mail campaigns, sending that postcard saying just listed, just sold. You want to do that over and over and over. So it takes a commitment, it takes a budget, and it takes time. So all of that are things that I didn't have when I started out. So I needed a better way. So here are my 2 favorite ways to generate business without having a cold call: networking and referrals. And for me, they go hand in hand. Networking is a great way to get out there and meet more people, but it's a friendly environment because other people are at the networking events in order to mix and mingle and meet a bunch of people as well. So they're excited to meet you and you're excited to meet them. And that's a great way to have more people know about you and your business and meet more people that maybe you don't know yet, but they're happy to see you. Unlike a cold call where they're like, why are you calling me, right? Why are you knocking on my door? These are people who came to the event to grow their network as well. So it's a friendly environment. It's a great way to grow your network is by networking. So my absolute favorite alternative to cold calling is referrals. Why referrals? Well, we all know that referrals are the best business. But think about this. When you are cold calling, you are chasing that business. You have to hunt it down. You are just going after it and going after it and going after it, and it's just beyond your reach a lot of times. So there's a lot of that chasing energy. There's a different energy about going after people cold. The difference with referrals is it's warm. You get those warm relationships, and it actually reverses the flow. Instead of you chasing the business comes to you. And that flow is great. It's about receiving business instead of chasing it. And that can make all the difference in how you feel about generating business for your business. And it helps with the sustainability about being able to continue to market your business over years and even decades, because referral marketing, I believe, is the most sustainable, enjoyable way to continually bring in business to your business. I have a tip to get you in action right away in a alternative to cold calling and a story for you. Before I do that though, I'd love to hear your stories about cold calling and any of your war stories about generating business for your business in the comments below. I can't wait to read what you have to say about cold calling. So if you're looking for an alternative to cold calling and you want to get going right now, you want something proactive and actionable, one of the things I have my clients do and what I do all the time in my business is what we call how are you calls. This is where we actually pick up the phone and call someone in our network, someone we already know. It could be from our business network or personal network. It doesn't matter. It's just we've at least met them once. When we say who we are, they're going to know who we are, and we just call and connect and say, how are you? And the purpose of the call is to build the relationship. It's surprising what happens when you make these how are you calls, because the focus isn't about asking for business or anything, but what happens is we get into conversation. So we pick up the phone, we say, how are you? They're sharing about their life. They ask us, how are you doing? And we share about our life. And oftentimes the conversation just turns to business. When we make a genuine connection and say, hey, I was thinking about you and I just wanted to say hello and see how you're doing, it feels good. And they want to reciprocate by sharing something about themselves or sharing some business with you. So I can't tell you how many times that I did a bank of how are you calls and got business going, whether it's I got to give some referrals to people in my network or I received some referrals. But by making those connections, opportunity happened. As a matter of fact, we were doing how are you calls as one of our accountability items in my referral accelerator program recently. And, you know, one of the gals, she's a commercial lender. She lends on business, like hotels and things like that. And she did some how are you calls and she got 3 leads from it, 3 referrals, I should say, because they were connections for potential business for her and her business out of just like 10 or 12 calls. So that's a really high rate of return on that time invested. So do your how are you calls and get into action. And I'd like to share just one funny story. I actually started cold calling at a much younger age when I really think about it. I used to be a campfire girl and I sold campfire candy. And I would door knock in my neighborhood and say, hi, would you like to buy some campfire candy? And I went to this one door and at the door it said no soliciting. Well, I was, I don't know, 6 years old or something. I didn't know what that meant. I could read it because I, could read, but I didn't know what it meant. So I knocked on the door and the guy said, "Didn't you read the sign?" I said, "Yeah, I did." But they really hadn't covered that subject in second grade, right? So I didn't really know what it meant. So I bet you have some funny stories. I can't wait to share. And let's find some alternatives to cold calling so we don't have to get yelled at. If you like my idea about building your business through relationships and referrals by networking and a proactive referral approach, then I've got a free resource for you. It's my Referrals to Riches Playbook. In there, it will give you step-by-step how to build a referral-based business and give you more practical ideas and tools like the How You Call so you can find great ways to generate new business without cold calling. So click the link below and I'll get you that free resource.